President Trump is planning to attend the Super Bowl this Sunday. President Trump is planning to attend the Super Bowl this Sunday in New Orleans. President Trump is planning to attend the Super Bowl this Sunday in New Orleans, and that would mark the very first time that a sitting president has attended that event. This news is coming as the city has already escalated its safety precautions to keep fans safe.
All right, before we go on, in news just coming in from the U.S., a Bering Air flight carrying 10 people has reportedly vanished from radar near NOME in Alaska. The aircraft was traveling from Iqaluit to NOME.
Has some sad news to report as the Kansas City sports community is grieving the loss of a sports anchor and reporter.
Trump's going to the Super Bowl, and we can't forget that the Super Bowl also has the owl in it.
Let's talk about Donald Trump's victory and how shocked everyone is about it. And to be honest, I did not know who was going to win the election. I tried to pull some tarot cards to see, what Spirit would let me know. But even I had no idea.
An air collision over Washington, D.C. sent an American Airlines jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter plunging into the icy Potomac River, 5:18 p.m. American Airlines Flight 5342, a CRJ 700, departs from Wichita, Kansas, bound for Washington, D.C., 8:48 and 48 seconds. The two aircraft collide at about 300 feet. The jet was traveling at approximately 145 miles per hour.
Now, I have shown you many, many times this line that goes from the Washington Monument obelisk to the Bunker Hill Boston obelisk and then continues all the way halfway around the world through England, London, down through Europe, all the way down through the 7 churches in Asia to Mount Hermon, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, primarily Mount Hermon. I've shown that to you.
Yeah, Google Earth. I love playing with Google Earth. When the 200 angels came down to Earth, this is where they landed. This is Mount Hermon in southern Lebanon. Now, there's a guy by the name of David Flynn who's done some extraordinary research on this, and there's a picture of Mount Hermon today. If you go on Google Earth, you can put a marker there at that location. What's 1/3 of 100? 33.33%, right? That location is 33.33 degrees north by 33.33 degrees east from the Paris prime meridian, which used to be the true prime meridian before they changed it for political reasons. And if you go back and look at the history of the Paris prime meridian, it's also known as the Devil's Line.
How the Mississippi snakes through New Orleans. That's pretty interesting to me.
State and federal officials say safety is a top priority for the Super Bowl, especially after the New Year's Day terrorist attack in New Orleans.
And don't forget, New Orleans, the Superdome, the Caesars Superdome, is the home of the Saints.
Of course, New Orleans is no stranger to big events, hosting its record-tying 11th Super Bowl.
President Trump is planning to attend the Super Bowl this Sunday.
Trump was creating a public persona, one that could be both funny and demeaning, arrogant and somehow in touch with the common man.
Well, I know Willie Brown very well. In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. We were in a helicopter.
We sat down with the general manager of Telemundo, Kansas City, who says Manzano was a rising star.
And if we go back to the map and I show you these airplane crashes, we had the American Airlines operating under American Eagle. So it was an American Eagle airplane that crashed with a Black Hawk helicopter. All 3 of these birds that I've mentioned so far, the owl, the eagle, and the hawk, are unclean birds according to the Bible.
Donald had his own crisis. finding his place in a family dominated by his father, Fred.
Adan Manzano was found dead last night in his hotel room while covering Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. No foul play is expected. He was known for his work at Telemundo, Kansas City, and the Tico Sports Spanish broadcast team.
In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. We were in a helicopter.
This crash site perfectly parallel with this main line. Remember, the Key Bridge was right on that line? But what really is interesting, if you continue this line with a deviation of not even 2 degrees, it's almost perfectly straight all the way down to the Superdome, Caesar's Superdome.
In city, I gotta imagine, Bowen, the energy there is palpable.
Terrence, Sylvia, yeah, if you take a walk downtown or even near the French Quarter, you're definitely going to see some people already geared up, and whether that be their Kansas City Chiefs gear or Philadelphia Eagles.
Who would take over Fred's empire? The first in line wasn't Donald. It was his older brother, Freddie.
It's 966 miles. The simple fact that we have him flying down there for the Super Bowl.
They could not understand why Fred did not go into the family business and be a builder like their father was. But Fred wanted to be a pilot.
Ground crews have covered ground all along the coast from Nome to Topkok.
But Fred wanted to be a pilot.
So we had the Black Hawk collide with the American Eagle right here in Washington, D.C. And my take on that is that that helicopter was overtaken by AI, so to speak, because the best pilot in the world could not time that type of an interception.
Now, Alaska State troopers confirmed the missing plane was a commercial Bering Air flight. According to NOME Volunteer Fire Department, the pilot of the plane told Anchorage Air Traffic Control that he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared.
He was young, and that's part of the sad news here. Had a very bright future, and so we're...
Their father said Freddie wasn't a killer. He wanted to fly airplanes for a living. Donald thought that was crazy.
The Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem walked through the Superdome yesterday. She was joined by the NFL's Chief of Security and Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. Security Noem looked at checkpoint areas outside of the Superdome and toured the Operations Center for NFL Security.
Right after these crashes where the helicopter was allegedly on training for continuity of government.
On a routine annual retraining of night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission. The military does dangerous things on the regular basis.
In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. We were in a helicopter.
Manzano was found dead Wednesday evening by staff at the hotel. The Jefferson Parish Coroner's Office just told us that tests are underway to determine his cause of death, but investigators do say that there were no signs or obvious signs of trauma when they found his body.
Billionaire developer Donald Trump has put his name on a New York City hotel, shopping center, and apartment buildings, as well as a casino in Atlantic City. And now he's going to put his name on a big piece of Eastern Airlines.
And when we look at the Philadelphia crash, which is right up here, many people reported that as appearing to be just like a missile.
No missile plane. Location is, of course, still unknown. This is a Bering plane that has gone off radar. No missile plane.
Hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah.